Hi, I'm your host, Nicole, and welcome to Bookish Alchemy, the podcast where we explore the mysteries of the universe by unlocking hidden gems from some of my favorite reads and dusting off some thrifted treasures. The answers you seek are everywhere and often found in between the lines. Brought to you by Curious Mind Studios. Today, we are diving into As A Man Thinketh by James Allen, a book that has been inspiring thinkers, philosophers, and spiritual seekers for over a century. Written in 1903, this timeless work explores the profound impact that thoughts have on our character, circumstances, and life as a whole. Now, I don't own a physical copy of this book, but I've listened to the audiobook at least a dozen times, and it never disappoints. We've all heard the phrase, "You are what you think," more times than we can actually think about remembering. Maybe we've brushed this off as just something people say. Or maybe we feel that it can't be true because there are just too many outside influences that can affect us. Or perhaps we've just been underestimating how true this actually is because we muddy it up with our own feelings and experiences. But if you've ever wondered just how powerful your thoughts are, this book makes it clear you are the maker of your own destiny. This idea of thought as creation also aligns with the teachings of many spiritual masters, those who have achieved self-mastery and transcended limitations. Whether it's Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Krishna, Lao Tzu, or Hermes Trismegistus, the message remains the same. To master the self is to master the universe. This is the key to becoming what ancient alchemists called Rex Mundi, the king of the world. James Allen wrote several works that fall into this category of what he calls reservoirs of power. Through these works, he not only illustrates how we tap into our power, but reminds us that we are all it. And perhaps that's the perfect way to set the stage for today's episode. So let's dive in. Allen states in the book's foreword that this work was a result of deep meditation and described this book as a way to awaken men and women to the discovery that they themselves are the makers of themselves by the virtue of the thoughts which they choose. This means that our minds are the master weavers of both our inner character and outer circumstances. A concept that closely mirrors what we discussed in another episode, Beyond the Miracle, the idea that we are the creators of our own reality. Let's follow Allen's flow of thought as he lays out these lessons of culture as a roadmap to mastering the mind, and in turn mastering life itself. But I can promise that by the end of this episode, the message will be the same as where we started, that you are what you think, and we just needed a little remembering. 1. Thought and character. The book opens with, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Allen explains that we are quite literally the product of our thoughts. Just as a plant springs from a seed, every action, whether spontaneous or deliberate, springs from the seeds of thought, as act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. And in this way, man is either made or unmade by himself. Allen emphasizes, by right choice and true application of thought, man ascends to divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are the grades of character, and man is their maker and master. Man is a being of power, intelligence, and love. Man is the lord of his thoughts, Ying. And in this way, man is either made or unmade by himself. If we were the lord of anything, wouldn't it make sense to say that we are the true masters of ourselves? This reminds me of the concept from the episode Beyond the Miracle, where Jesus goes to the elders to be freed from external constraints, where he was granted with the highest initiation of the 4th degree. Sometimes we try too hard to master others, or use our power to wield influence over others, but the real power lies in mastering ourselves. And maybe by simply changing the way we think about others, we will change the way they show up for us. 2. The effect of thought on circumstances. Allen presents the metaphor. If our thoughts are seeds, then the mind is like a garden. It can be cultivated with care or left to grow wild, as every man is where he is by the law of his being. Although Allen doesn't mention the law of attraction specifically, He is telling us that like attracts like, and makes it clear that the external world is simply a reflection of our inner world. Sometimes we find ourselves in a rough patch, but there is an assurance in knowing that we are always where we are, so that we may learn what is needed to grow. Undesirable scenarios aren't necessarily punishments, but indicators, signs from the universe that you've been miscreating, and an invitation to adjust back to right thinking. Opportunities to shift our mindset about something. The soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, that which it loves, and also that which it fears. Everything we experience is a sign, a reflection of our inner world. The question is, what do you want to reflect? 3. The effect of thought on health and the body. The mind and body are intimately connected. Allen tells us, change of diet will not help a man who will not change his thoughts. I have always believed that what you put in your mind is actually more important than what you put in your body, as your beliefs can actually influence how your body digests food. Often, the junk foods we eat contribute and keep us in a lower thinking mindset. Now, you don't have to believe this, but if you do, then it will be. Talk about the ultimate diet hack. 4. The thought factor in achievement. To accomplish anything in life, our thoughts must be linked with purpose. Without purpose, thought is scattered. So as Allen states, the dreamers are the saviors of the world, as the dreamers are the visionaries who dare to use their imagination to see beyond what is, shape the world with their thoughts before their hands ever touch their work. Every great innovation, every societal shift, every work of art began first as an idea, nurtured in the mind before it took form. So dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. 5. Thought and purpose. To think with purpose is to live with intention. Allen tells us that until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. Those who lack a definite aim will become susceptible to outside influences, falling prey into low mental states and ways of thinking such as worry, fear, and self-doubt. He warns against mental aimlessness, describing it as a kind of self-imposed weakness that allows external forces to dictate one's path. This is why Allen calls aimlessness a vice. It's not just a lack of direction, but a surrender of one's own power. Allen also warns that those who fail to focus their thoughts on a clear purpose often find themselves adrift and reacting to life rather than creating it. So to master our reality, we must first master our thoughts and align them with a defined goal. 6. Visions and ideals. Every success story begins with a dream, a vision of your ideal. Just playing with this idea sparks imagination and ignites all possibility to inspire action. James Allen tells us to cherish your visions, cherish your ideals, cherish the music that stirs in your heart, the beauty that forms in your mind, the loveliness that drapes your purest thoughts, for out of them will grow all delightful conditions, all heavenly environment. Of these, if you but remain true to them, your world will at last be built. The most extraordinary people are those who refuse to let their dreams be diminished by doubt. Instead, they nurture lofty ideals and act as if they are already true until reality has no choice but to catch up. The question isn't whether you have a vision, it's whether you believe in it enough to make it real. 7. Serenity. The flowering of life. Now, the pinnacle of James Allen's wisdom is serenity. I'll quote from the book, "Serenity is the flowering of life, the fruitage of the soul, the ultimate wisdom, more desirable than gold. It is the peace that surpasses all understanding, the purest essence of being, attainable only through the mastery of thought and the alignment of the soul." Allen's language in this section is reminiscent of the flower of life, a sacred geometric symbol found in the Gothic cathedrals all over the world, that we touched on in the episode, Secrets in the Stone, the Mysteries of the Cathedrals. This serenity Allen refers to represents the culmination of spiritual growth. It is the reward for a life of inner peace and balance, where thoughts are aligned with divine order and love. Serenity is not a mere absence of conflict, but the active state of harmony, contentment, and wisdom. A strong, tranquil mind radiates power. Those who are great have mastered self-control, patience, and right thinking also have a deep understanding of the mind's role in shaping reality. Was James Allen one of the great that we speak of? A type of modern-day prophet sharing this wisdom of the alchemist? I'll let you decide. He concluded the book with this message: only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey him. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever ye may be, under whatsoever conditions ye may live, know this. In the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits your coming. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. In the bark of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength, right thought is mastery, calmness is power. Say upon your heart, peace be still. Before we wrap up, I want to invite you to join us for a special bonus episode featuring Positive Mindset Affirmations, a collection of powerful statements to help rewire your thinking, cultivate self-mastery, and reinforce the lessons we've explored today. Be sure to tune in and immerse yourself in these affirmations to support your journey toward intentional and empowered thinking. As a Man Thinketh is a powerful guide to mastering the mind. This journey to self-mastery begins with awareness, observing our thoughts, aligning them with our highest vision, and cultivating a serene mind. Your thoughts truly shape your reality. So, what will you think about today? And with that, we wrap up today's episode. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into As a Man Thinketh, the alchemy of thought. If this episode resonated with you, please share the magic, subscribe, and leave a review. Your reviews are the highest form of support as they help the show grow. You've been listening to Bookish Alchemy. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, the answers you seek are often found in between the lines. Produced by Curious Mind Studios.